In life, we often meet people who twist truth to suit their own desires. But what happens when they're caught in the act? This is the story of a man, his garden, and a stranger who tried to use the name of God as a shield for his wrongdoing. Once upon a time, there was a man who owned a large garden filled with fruit trees. He had worked tirelessly, planting, watering, and nurturing them until they finally bore sweet fruits. Excited, he set out with his son to harvest them and sell them to support his family. But then, something unexpected happened. As he looked up, he saw a stranger sitting on one of the branches, shamelessly plucking his fruits. Anger surged within him, and he shouted, "Hey, you! What are you doing on my tree? Aren't you ashamed of stealing?" The stranger glanced down, but calmly continued picking, replying, "This is God's garden, and I am his servant. I have the right to take these fruits." Shocked by the audacity of his words, the gardener thought of a plan. He ordered the man to climb down. The moment he did, the gardener tied him to the tree and struck him with a stick. The thief screamed, "Why are you beating me? You have no right." But the gardener firmly answered, "Why should I fear? This stick belongs to God, and I am his servant." At last, the stranger broke down, begging for forgiveness. "I'm sorry. This is your garden, and I should have asked for permission. Please, let me go." The gardener untied him and said with a calm smile, "Don't misuse God's name to cover your wrong actions." And so the man walked away with a lesson he would never forget. But what about you? Do you think the gardener was right to punish the stranger so harshly? Or should he have shown mercy from the start?
A long time ago there was a boy. He was smart, talented, and handsome. However, he was very selfish and his temper was so difficult that nobody wanted to be friends with him. Often he got angry and said various hurtful things to people around him, the boy's parents very concerned about his bad temper. They considered what they could do, and one day the father had an idea. He called his son and gave him a hammer and a bag of nails. The father said, "Every time you get angry, take a nail and drive into that old fence as hard as you can." The fence was very tough and the hammer was heavy, nevertheless the boy was so furious that during the very first day he has driven 37 nails, day after day. Week after week, the number of nails was gradually decreasing. After some time, the boy started to understand that holding his temper is easier than driving nails into the fence. One day the boy didn't need hammer and nails anymore as he learned to hold his temper perfectly. So he came to his father and told about his achievement. "Now every time, when you hold your temper all day long, pull out one nail." Much time has passed. At last the boy could be proud of himself as all the nails were gone. When he came to his father and told about this, he offered to come and take a careful look at the fence. "You did a good job, my son, but pay your attention to the holes that left from the nails. The fence will never be the same. The same happens when you say hurtful things to people, as your words leave scars in their hearts like those holes in the fence. Remember, we need to treat everyone with love and respect, because it doesn't matter that you say you are sorry, the scars will not disappear, and also out of your anger you leave scars into your heart." They promised to marry after the war, but they never imagined the one thing that could truly tear them apart wasn't the distance, but a mirror. What happens next will melt your heart. Watch till the end to experience the power of unconditional love, loyalty, and beauty that goes beyond appearances. Once, a girl and boy fell in love. Girl's parents weren't too happy with this relation, so boy decided not only to court girl but her parents as well. In time, girl's parent realized that he was good man and agreed for their marriage. When parents agreed, another problem arose. Boy was in army and soon war broke out. He was called out to be sent to overseas for a year. Week before he left, they were engaged. They agreed that they would get married once boy returned from war. A few days later, girl got into an vehicular accident. When she woke up, she saw her mother and father crying. Immediately she knew that there was something wrong. she found that she suffered from brain injury. Parts of her brain that controlled her face muscles were damaged. Her once lovely face was now disfigured. Her body was covered with so many wounds. Seeing herself in mirror and her wounds, she cried and said, "Yesterday, I was beautiful, but today it's all gone," right there and then she decided to release her fiancé from their promise. She didn't want him to see her like this. For 1 year, boy wrote many letter, called many times, but she didn't replied. After 1 year, girl mother walked into her room and said, "He is back from war. He is here to meet you." Girl shouted, "No, please don't tell him about me and ask him to leave." Mother said, "He is getting married and he is here to give his wedding invitation." Saying this, mother handed her, boy's wedding invitation. Girl was sad, her heart sank. She knew that she still loved him, but now she had to forget him now. With great sadness, she opened it, and then she saw her name on it. Confused, she asked her mother, "What's this?" Just then young man entered her room with a bouquet of flowers. He knelt beside her and asked, "Will you marry me?" Girl covered her face with her hands and said, "Don't look. Please. I am not beautiful anymore. I look ugly." Young man replied, "Without your permission, your mother sent me photos of yours. When I saw those photos, I realized that nothing has changed. You are still the person I fell in love with. You are still as beautiful as ever. I love you."
This is a story about the importance of being persistent and never giving up. No matter how many failures you have experienced in the past, a man was spending his holiday in Africa. One day he watched the elephants passing by. To his great surprise, these giant strong animals were being held only by a small rope, tied to their front leg. Obviously, they could easily run away any moment. However, they did not. Then he saw a trainer and asked him, how could this happen that not a single elephant makes an attempt to break free? The trainer explained, when the elephants are very young, we use the same size rope to tie them, and at that time it is enough to hold them. Gradually they grow up, get stronger, nevertheless they never try to get away, as they believe that the rope will still hold them. The man was stunned. These strong animals could break free any time, but they did not, because they believed that this is impossible. Sometimes people act like elephants when they give up after the first failure. Remember that failures are part of learning. If we want to succeed, we should never give up, but try and try again.